What's going on with it, y'all? Back with another video. Happy Thanksgiving for all those who are watching because we're shooting it today, which is the 22nd, and it should be uploaded. It's gonna be uploaded on the 23rd. So, for those who celebrate Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving, right? From me and the fam, the Jones family.
Stop, that tickles.
Our,
He does not understand that my boobs are sensitive. He keeps on touching them and tickling them and stuff, and I'm like, stop. Like we've been together for 3 years, and he still doesn't get it. I stopped smacking your ass when you.
no, you didn't.
Yes,
no,
I
you
did.
didn't. You still be doing that. Let me walk around naked.
Oh, I will smack it. I just won't smack it as much as I used to. Like sometimes I'll just sit there and just keep on smacking it. Okay.
All right. So, y'all, real quick, we want to give our thoughts on a subject that we kind of like thought of when we were watching a movie, right? A typical movie. Not even a typical. I'm sure all of you guys have seen Boys in the Hood before. If you haven't, go check it out. It's a beautiful movie with a lot of game in it.
Oh, it's a beautiful
movie in like
the ghetto.
Yeah, it's a little bit of everything. Ghetto, beautiful, but it has a lot of powerful like messages in the movie, especially when it comes to parenting, right? We wanted to talk about the importance of not only just having one parent in your life, which in my case was my mom, but also having another parent in your life, which is your dad. So the importance of having both parents in your life and the effects that it has when you only just have one versus two, right? So, you want to start off?
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for that. And just a little background for those of you who haven't seen the movie. Stop! What inspired us, Trey had got sent off to his dad at like when he was in elementary school because he was getting in trouble, and him and his mom had a deal that if he got in trouble one more time, he was going to get sent to his dad. So he ended up getting sent to his dad. So his dad raised him to like until he became like a teenager, adult as they call it.
Right.
And his dad like was teaching him about sex, cleaning, responsibility, discipline, stuff like that. And we were talking like, that's crazy. We know so many people that didn't have that.
Right.
Like that is so powerful. Like his dad was having conversations with him that like I feel are important for sons to, well, for important conversations for dads to have with their sons.
Right.
And there was a scene where you were like, I wonder if his dad hadn't had that talk with him about the gun, would he still would have had went with them to kill, with the drive. Trey had an opportunity to be a part of a drive-by and kill some people and get some revenge, and he told his friends to let him out the car.
Right.
So Big Earl here has said, I wonder if his dad hadn't had that conversation with him prior to that, would he still have gone through with that?
Because at the beginning of the movie, I'm not sure if you guys remember, for those who have seen the movie. I'll be talking like a slave on the camera. I need to slow down when I'm talking.
What did you say?
The movie. No, but for those who have seen the movie, Boys in the Hood, at the beginning of the movie, he said something very powerful. He was like, Trey had asked him, hey, Dad, what do you do around here? He said, I don't got to do nothing but pay the bills, put food on the table, and make sure that you got a roof over your head, right? Clothes on your back. So he said, Trey, you may think I'm being hard on you, but I'm trying to show you responsibility. And he said, your friends that you are hanging out with, they don't have that. And you're going to see where they end up at, right? He said that when they were young before they skipped to them being young adults. So what she was talking about is how when they killed Ricky in the movie and Trey, that was his best friend, he wanted some get back. Those teachings and him having a father in his life and showing him, responsibility and being there and giving them game and wisdom, that was the difference between him going on that mission with Doughboy and putting in work and him saying, let me out of the car. And they didn't have a father like him in that movie. So all those teachings that Trey ended up getting by his dad, which is Furious Styles, right? They didn't have that, so they bust that mission. But the fact that Trey was raised right by his dad was the difference between him going and ruining his life and asking to get out the car. So that kind of ties into what we want to make this video about. Our child obviously will be growing up with both parents, right? But myself, I was raised in a single family home, like a lot of you guys watching this video right now. And I didn't really have a father to teach me a lot of these different lessons that some of you guys may have had, such as like she was talking about like sex, for instance. I didn't have a dad that taught me, hey, this is why you put on condoms. This is why you want to be protective when you're starting to have sex. I just had a mom that said, don't bring no baby in my house. Don't get a girl pregnant. And although that's a very important like lesson, some game that you can give to your younger son or a son in general, I feel like I didn't have a dad to go deeper into why I shouldn't do such thing. And sometimes kids need the details. The details matter. You know what I'm saying? You don't want somebody like parents all too often they'll tell a kid to do something and then they'll contradict themselves by doing it. And then what that does to us, say like, oh, you're doing it, so I'm gonna do it. Oh, don't have a baby at 16. Well, mom, you had me at 16, 17. You know what I'm saying? True. Oh, don't be smoking weed. Mom, you smoke weed. Dad, you smoke weed every day around me. Why wouldn't I go smoke? Oh, you're not supposed to do the things I do because I do it. I'm not, like, you're not me. No, it don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? So, give your take on it. I'm going to speak a little bit more after, but I don't want to be...
Lead by example, yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. But there kind of is power in our parents leading by example sometimes. Like, of course, my father's in prison. And the reason why he's in prison, obviously, I know not to do stuff like that. Yeah. So I see stuff like that, and I'm like, facts. Well, I'm not going to do that. You know, some of the stuff that they did. But that's the thing. Everybody's not like that. Everybody is not that smart to be like, oh, my parent made this bad decision. I'm not going to do it. That it's crazy how psychology works, because there's people that see their parents make bad decisions and they're like, well, this is all I know. My parents abused me, so I'm going to abuse my kids. Right. That's a silly logic, but people are always trying to find excuses for the bad stuff they do. Right. But yeah, you have mentioned how we're both going to be in Junior's upbringing and be in his life, and that was very intentional for the both of us. Yeah. Like, me, I didn't want to be that type of person that has multiple baby daddies, or even a baby daddy that's... You
be screaming, multiple baby daddies.
At least I don't be talking like a slave.
Hey. Like she said, though, it was very intentional, and that's kind of why we wanted to make this videos, because, like, I really want to urge you guys, like the women especially out there, to make sure that you are being strategic and picking your mate. Make sure that you're going to, mate with somebody that is going to be there, because it's very important, not only for a kid to just have, one parent, but both parents. You know what I'm saying? Both parents, from a man as well as a woman's perspective, is very important to have in a child's life, because she's going to teach little Junior things that only a mother can teach little Junior, right? She's going to give him that emotional support, sincere support. I'm not going to be the overly masculine dad that's just always just so hard on my son, but I'm going to naturally be a man, right? I'm going to show him how to be a man. I'm going to teach him some of the things that only a man can teach him. And I'm not trying to say a single mom out there can't teach, like, a little boy how to be a man, because I ain't gonna lie, my mom did a very good job with me. I feel like I turned out very well for being raised with a single mom. But I will say this, I had a lot of male influences and role models in my life growing up. So my mom used to do that. She used to want me to go around my uncles and my cousins and all that. And that taught me how, to be more of a man. I just wasn't around my mom and a whole bunch of females all day. Sometimes you have dudes that grew up being raised by their mom and a whole bunch of sisters and a whole bunch of girl cousins, and they start to be a little bit feminine. We've all met people like that, just being around too many women, right? So it's very important, if you are a single mother, to have your son around male influences, good male role models and influences, so that they can kind of rub off on them in a good way.
Well said. And another thing, just to piggyback off of what he said about, like, women can't teach their sons, like, how to be a man. They can try their hardest, and some of them do good, but they can't teach them everything. And that goes to what I was asking him the other day. I said, "So, does Junior potty train sitting down? Like, is
I was
that?"
like, hell no.
I didn't know. Like, and so he was telling me, no, he has to stand up, and he was talking about how he got to learn to aim and all
Yeah.
types of stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh, so like it's like stuff like that that women don't really know.
That's feminine tendencies, right? You would never want a little boy, a young boy, to learn how to pee sitting down. Why? Because that's how females sit down
Yeah.
or pee, right? Use the
Yeah.
restroom. You guys sit on the toilet and do your business. Us guys, we don't do that. We stand up and we aim, right? So yeah, we were having a conversation about that. She was asking me, "Hey, how do you teach a young boy? Like, how do you potty train a young boy?" And I was telling her how, you buy the toilet, you have him stand up, you teach him how to hold it, you teach him how to aim, right? And then as he starts to get a little older, she will start teaching him things like, "Hey, son, out of common courtesy for other women, make sure that you put the toilet seat up, so that you're not pissing all over the toilet seat, right?" See, she's gonna teach them that, and I'm also gonna potty train them and teach them how to, use a little weenie. So if you combine both of those different ideologies, although like both of those methods in that game, that information, then you end up teaching a young boy how to responsibly use the restroom the right way from a woman's as well as a male's perspective. And I really feel like if you don't have both parents, stuff like that can slip. Like, just imagine if he was a single parent, she would have taught our young son how to use the restroom sitting down. And for all the men who are watching this right now, we know that that's just not the right way to do it. Now, a lot of you guys that's on to that other stuff. I ain't gonna get too much into it. If you guys want to teach your sons how to use the restroom sitting down, that's your business. We not doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Another thing was we were talking about like when we were watching Boys in the Hood, and Trey was talking to his dad about sex, and it was like they were acting
lying.
He was acting awkward and stuff.
Yeah.
So me and Big Earl here had gotten into a conversation about our son and having that conversation with him eventually, and he was like, "Oh, boys be lying to their mom about that because they don't want to talk to them about that. That's awkward." I said, "Wait, so I can't have that conversation with my son? Is that a conversation you're gonna have to have with him, or what?"
But he's gonna lie to you. But you see how in the movie, how his dad was like, "You getting some coochie yet?" And he was, you know what I'm saying? He was just looking all weird and all that. We can tell. Just how I feel like women can tell when young girls are starting to, be a little sexually active.
Yeah.
As far as us dudes, you can tell, like, we start wanting to brush our hair. You can tell, like, when a dude is getting some coochie or just got a girlfriend. He want to start asking you to go take him to get cologne, and, he's bathing a lot more frequently. He got, that swagger about himself. That's how dudes be. So, yeah, it's just conversations that will be had just because I'm there. And I'm proud of that. I'm proud of, being able to be here with our child to teach him from a man's perspective how to be a man. And you guys all too often hear that, hey, I can teach you the fundamentals, but I can't teach you about how to be a man. And that's exactly with what old girl, what's her name in the movie, said to Trey when he was young.
Oh, his mom, Angela Bassett.
Angela Bassett. She was like, "Hey, I can't teach him how to be no man. You wanted your son, now you got him," and that's very real. That's very real.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I didn't have my dad growing up just until I was like 9, and even then, it's like having him. My dad thinks that I'm supposed to be with a man that pretty much is buying me cars, buying me materialistic stuff and stuff like that. And I'm like, that's not how that works. Don't you want a man? He told me, "Oh, you should be trying to get with a man like me."
Like what?
I said,
you can always tell a woman that was raised by her father too. A lot of them are tomboys. A lot like women that were raised by their father or raised that may have had a lot of brothers and raised around her brothers and father. Very tomboyish, very kind of like masculine. And it's nothing wrong with that, but you can tell a woman that's been raised by her mom and her father, like they're just different. Like they're tough, but at the same time, they know how to show their feminine side, not just being masculine all the time. And that's very important because if you want to go out there and get a man, no man want a woman that's overly masculine. Like I'm the dude, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you can be tough, but we want a woman that's tough and feminine at the same time, and that's kind of like the conflict of interest when you're raised by only your father as a woman. It's like I've seen it before. I've literally seen women be raised around nothing but men, and it's just like, dang, like she almost one of the homies at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
It's crazy what you say about the when you raised with a dad or with your mom and dad, then like it shows because you're tough too.
Yeah.
It's crazy because I feel like I'm lacking that toughness from like my dad being absent. I still don't know completely what I'm lacking with him being gone, but I feel like I'm definitely lacking certain things that had he been around to teach me about certain things, then it would be different. But I don't know because he wasn't there. So I'm like, what could I, have learned? He probably could have taught me about men and stuff like that. But from the looks of what he be saying, oh, you want to get with a man like me? I'd be like, a man like you?
I missed out on a lot. Like I didn't have a dad to teach me how to tie a tie. Like that's a very sentimental moment between a man and a young boy. Like let me be the first one to teach you how to tie a tie. I didn't have a dad to throw a football with me or teach me how to cut in between, different holes when it came to football. I didn't have a dad that taught me, hey, this is the type of cologne that you want to wear. You don't want to wear that cheap shit from Ross or nothing like that. You want to go buy cologne from here, right? I had a stepdad that taught me how to teach certain, he taught me certain things.
Slow down.
Taught me certain things about like, leave me alone. I said leave me alone.
Stop talking like that.
He taught me certain things like, hey, keep your shoes clean.
Huh?
But yeah, it was like, come on now, bro.
Common
You know what I'm
sense.
saying? Like, no, it really ain't common sense.
True.
Point I'm trying to make is, a lot of the different things that a dad would teach their son, I had to learn on my own. You know what I'm saying? I had to fill in the gaps for my mom because my mom only could teach me how to do what? Oh yeah.
No, you said
you were
saying that right.
Yeah, she only taught me how to do certain things. You know what I'm saying? So the whole moral of the whole video, man, is just make sure that you're picking somebody that's gonna be there. Don't pick somebody that is not gonna be there. And even if you guys aren't together, pick somebody that you know will be there despite you guys not being together to, support their son.
Yeah, it's really. I for some reason I feel like for sons it's way more important. Like, well, it's important for a woman or a son or a woman or a man to have both of their parents around. But I feel like sons, when they don't have their dad, they just can get into be cutting up.
That's another thing too. Sorry to cut you off.
It's okay.
Like when I was young, my mom was pretty tough, so I didn't really try this, and I was a good boy growing up. But when you have a single mom, like if that mom don't get on that boy early on, and he start getting older, start getting bigger, and just start feeling himself a little bit more, it's gonna be kind of too late. Cause boys, you got to get on them earlier, in their adolescencehood, because man, once it gets too late, next thing you know, the boy is cussing at the mom and trying to put hands on her, like, and that's why having a father there is important, because the father's gonna be like, hey, we gonna have to get down. You better not talk to your mom. Like, if the second Junior tries to talk to her crazy, I'm like, come here. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get this straightened real fast. But boys be trying to get over on women. Like, a lot of the mothers out there that have, like, boys, you guys already know this. Like, after a while, they'll try to get over on you guys because you guys have a good heart. Not saying that you guys aren't firm, that you don't discipline your children, but we just know that we can get away with more when it comes to our moms than our dads. That's just facts.
And now that I think about it, that's probably why young Ice Cube and Boys in the Hood, like why his mom was talking to him like that. That wasn't okay. She was cussing him out and calling him fat and stuff. But she was like being tough with him because he was being bad. And she was being soft with Ricky because Ricky wasn't disrespectful to her, running the streets or doing bad stuff. Yeah. So I kind of see why she had like that tough personality with him. But yeah, people be asking why I want a girl, and this is why, because even with him being around, I'm still kind of nervous about the whole boy stuff, because women and men are different. Like, we think different. Like, our perspectives on things are different, and so I don't want to give my son the wrong advice. Like when he's well, maybe when he wants advice about women and stuff, I can give him, but his dad can give him advice.
Yeah,
about that too. So
like when I was growing up, my mom would always say stuff like, "Oh, make sure you open the door for a woman," right?
Yeah.
Which is cool, but as I started getting older, I'm like, half of these girls I'm opening the door for ain't even grateful that I'm doing it. Like, why do I feel like I have to do this? You know what I'm saying? Why? Because my mom taught me that. Like, I didn't have a dad to say, "Hey, you open the door for women who need the door to be open for." You know what I'm saying? Like, who are grateful.
Right.
Like, you don't just because a person's a woman don't mean that you're obligated to do anything.
Right.
You don't got to go pay for the dates. You don't got to go open the door. That's because you want to do it, not because you're obligated to do it. My mom or a lot of women out there teach their young boys that they're obligated to do that. Oh,
to be simps.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, if you like this girl, you need to go trick on her pretty much.
Trick out.
Like, I gotta go pay for the dinner. I gotta pick her up. I gotta open the door. I gotta close the door. No, you don't do all that. Like, especially on the first day, that's what I'm gonna teach our child. Like, you don't be going and doing all that for a woman that you are not even sure about. What if you don't even like have a future with this woman? Then you just did all this for nothing. No, you do it because you want to do it, and you have to learn to read the room. You got to judge to see that a woman is even worthy of that. You open the door for a woman the first time, and she just walk in, and she don't say thank you or nothing like that. Oh yeah, she's cut.
Yeah,
simple. That's what I will teach my son.
Yeah.
A lot of women don't teach their sons that. A lot do, but a lot don't.
Yeah, you had said that a biased perspective.
Very.
Women, when it comes to certain topics, are very biased, and you always say, "My mom taught me how what was it what type of man I should be to a woman, but not what a woman should be to me." And I feel like that's really important. Like I was telling you, I know how to be, or I know how to find a good man, but my mom didn't teach me really how to be a good woman to a man. That's like the cooking and the cleanliness and, certain things I just picked up on by myself,
Yeah.
So that's important
That
too.
makes perfect sense. It's like, okay, you need a father to teach you how to be a good man to a woman. You need a mother to teach you how to be a good man.
A good woman.
A good woman to a man, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, my mom will always say stuff like, hey, try to find a woman that has the same qualities that I have.
But she's a good woman, so that applies. If it's not like my dad be like, you need a dude like me, and I'm like, you're not a good dude. So
it's like, what if you okay, try to find a woman that got the same or similar qualities that I have. Okay, bet. All right. So I wonder what a woman is teaching her son or her daughter about men. It's always find a man, hey, that's gonna open the door for you. Find a man that's gonna pay for your dinner when he takes you out. Find a man that are you trying to teach your daughter how to be a gold digger?
Yeah, my mom was like, find a firefighter, a lawyer, a doctor, and it's just like, so you didn't even take your own advice.
That's crazy. But yeah, that's just our take on it, y'all. Yeah, we just want to make this video because it's just something that we thought about. So
I can't wait till Junior watches it. He gonna be like, my parents giving me some game.
Hopefully, he better not be cutting up. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Happy Thanksgiving, peace. I said, you should be doing dumb shit.